Radio.
Gotcha.
Hot mic. Hot mic.
That right.
What are the cool things to do in Houston until game time tonight?
Real estate.
Doing work?
Yeah. I got a ton going on. Which is good. The fan group is here. And they went to NASA. And they said that was really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think T-Mac and Ben Davis were talking last night about they were hanging out with the fan group tonight since it's on Sunday Night Baseball.
Yes, that's correct. Since they're only working one of the 3 games down here.
Yeah, Apple TV, fantastic work. World Series rematch, you know, Aaron Nola versus Framber Valdez. Let's put it on Apple TV. Woohoo!
Yep.
You can't fix stupidity sometimes.
Yeah, it's out of the team's control. So.
Yeah, no. I'm not. It's not on the team. I'm talking Major League Baseball. I mean, come on,
yep.
Ridiculous.
Yep, I know. I'm sure it's frustrating.
Should be like Thursday Night Football. You know, crappy teams on Apple TV.
Yeah, but then why would you spend billions of dollars to do that?
Hey,
you know,
I'm pitching it out there. You know, just
you
know what, the Phillies have them play the Pirates. There you go. Well, even though the Pirates are good this year. But.
Best team in baseball right now, or at least in the National League.
Outside of the Rays, I'm not buying it.
Oh, I'm not buying it either. But
not buying.
But you know what? It's cool to see. I'm happy for them.
Yeah,
happy for their fans.
I think St. Louis's manager is on the chopping block. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, you thought we got off to a slow start, man. They've really struggled.
You got 30 seconds? 30 seconds.
All righty.
We're going Bee Gees here?
All righty. Stand by.
I gotta grab my phone.
Hey, you want to take me off mute on StreamYard? My volume's down. I should be up. Yeah. There's no. It'll do it. Okay. Good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome in the Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club in Philadelphia. We are powered by Green Legion Radio on 102.5 Fox Sports and Gambler in Philadelphia, WDAS AM, around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or just simply download that iHeartRadio app, and you can listen to us anywhere crystal clear worldwide. I am Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio. I am broadcasting live from the iHeartRadio studios in Ballackinwood, lovely Ballackinwood today, as it is raining cats and dogs, while Murph is in some bougie hotel in Houston, Texas, and he is hanging out with us again here this morning. Murph, how we doing, buddy?
Doing great. I'm just looking out the window. We're an hour earlier than you, so I'm still wiping the sleep from my eyes, but it looks like a pretty nice day out there. I haven't been out there yet, but I'm sure the roof will be closed tonight regardless here at Minute Maid Park. But yeah, you're right about this hotel. Pretty spectacular. So
yeah, Tom McCarthy and Ben Davis were talking about that in last night's broadcast, how you guys were, in some upscale hotel, and I'm sitting there going, man, Murph is really roughing it down there in Houston. It has to, it's a tough life, but somebody has to live it.
Yeah, I always say it's not for everybody, Zach, but I'm willing to give it a try. That's what I said.
Murph, I've been kind of been kicking myself all week because we had technical issues last week on last week's show. The first 15 minutes we weren't on actual air. We were kind of just on StreamYard, and we had the people that were there at Xfinity Live. But I stuck to how I wanted to do the run sheet, and I don't listen outside of StreamYard and people on Xfinity. We weren't able to really promote what you've got going on with your fundraiser and this upcoming event, this upcoming Thursday night. I want to give you some more ample opportunity while we're on the air here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We're also on StreamYard. Give everybody an opportunity to pitch in and donate to a great cause, one that is near and dear to your heart. And, an event coming up on Thursday that I will be at with my wife, Rachel, and my dad. I think my best friend, Chad, and who runs our Twitter handle for Baseball Brunch, and his wife are going to come join us as well. Looking forward to it, Murph, but why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how they can donate to your cause?
All right. Well, thank you. It's all part of the Visionary of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Greater Philadelphia. I was nominated to run for that back in February, and after giving it some thought and deciding that at this point I needed to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's not exactly something I'm comfortable doing, asking folks for money and that kind of thing, but I felt it was important as I am in remission from leukemia that I get the word out on how folks could help. So easiest way, if people are interested in donating, go onto my Twitter page, GMurphPhilly on Twitter, and there's a link right at the top that people can click on. And then, this Thursday, as part of that, we're having an event at a pub in Pittman, New Jersey called Merriman's Pub. We're going to have some of the broadcaster guys are going to be there. We're going to have a visit from the Big Green guy, the Philly Fanatic as well. And a couple of alumni players will be there as well. So should be a fun night, and we'll have some raffles and autographed memorabilia, that kind of thing. So if folks would love to like to come, we'd love to have them.
Sounds great. Speaking of my wife, congratulations. She ran the Broad Street run today.
Wow,
she did it. She said she kicked butt. Listen, I don't care if you felt like you kicked butt or not. I mean, to run in that weather and to run 10 miles, I mean, nonetheless, way to go, babe. Really, really happy for you. And I think this is her last big run for a little while. She's looking to actually do a 5K when we're in Colorado in a couple weeks. I'm like, can you just take a break? Can we just hang out? She's like, oh, there's one in Denver, cool. That's Sunday morning. Yeah, it is cool, but come on, man. Like, just kick your feet up and relax, and let's enjoy some baseball.
I did the Brunch Street one time, probably about 10 years ago at this point, and true story. So I finished, I believe, third from last in my age group. I was probably about 39 at the time, and so from 30 to 39, I finished literally like third from last. They printed it in the Daily News.
Did you run it, or did you?
Oh, I ran, but I'm not a strong runner, and I was doing it for a friend's father who had passed away. So I did train and everything, but it's not my thing by any stretch of the imagination. And every step I took was pain. But I was really proud of myself for finishing. However, I finished directly behind a gentleman dressed in a full tuxedo juggling. And that is not a lie. That is a true story. I could not catch the tuxedo-clad juggler to get across the finish line before him. Kind of embarrassing.
See, if you go by Ricky Bobby, though, even if you would have finished second in your age group, you wouldn't have been first, which meant you were last anyway. So
I did the right thing.
Absolutely. This first segment is brought to you by our good friends at State Farm. When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect furniture or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night TV series binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Dave Avuso is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Dave will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Dave Avuso, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Dave actually forgot to put the phone number in here for you to reach him at. That's 856-740-5012. That's 856-740-5012. All right, Murph, let's go ahead. We haven't done it in a couple weeks, but let's give away a couple more tickets here to Phillies Diamondbacks on Tuesday, May 23rd at 6:40. We're going to keep it a little bit fun today. I don't know if you saw the run sheet ahead of time, but it's not the greatest song of all time.
Right.
It's your favorite song of all time.
Yeah.
It could be just about anything. It could be a great song, could be a fun song, could be a guilty pleasure, put you in a good mood kind of a song. In order to win, you must answer in the comment section on the Green Legion Radio YouTube channel, the Green Legion Facebook Live page, or our Twitter handle at Green Legion. Our collective favorite answer will win at the beginning of the final segment. Murph, I don't know if you did a top 5 ahead of time here. I look forward to that from last year, so maybe we're back on the wagon, but go ahead. Give me yours.
Well, I did do a top 5, but I'm only going to give you one right now. I'll give you the other 4 later in the show. This is a really hard question. I mean,
it absolutely is.
Tens of thousands of songs out there. I mean, millions of songs out there. And I love music. I love all kinds of music. I love all kinds of genres. So this was hard. So basically what I did was I kind of said, all right, who are some of my favorite artists? And then what are my, couple of my favorite songs from those guys? So I'll start very, my age bracket. So it's no surprise to learn that Billy Joel is one of my all-time favorites. I've seen him in concert 10 times probably. And I love all Billy Joel's music. I really do. I can listen to anything that he's put out. But I tried to go a little off book. There's a song called Vienna that has some special memories attached to it for me. And that song is just an awesome, awesome song. I've been to Vienna, which was kind of cool a couple years ago. So Billy Joel's Vienna on the list for me. Okay.
Awesome. See, I'm going to stick in your age bracket because that's kind of around. I hate the age of Murph, but like absolutely. But my dad, listening to the music in the car through all the years, him driving us around and soccer practices, baseball practices, going to baseball games. I've seen Bruce Springsteen one time in concert, and I think that's good enough for me. I'm absolutely fine with that because he's such he has a very broad catalog. But
yes,
if a song comes on and it puts you in a great mood while you're driving in the car and makes you want to put the windows down, it's Born to Run. I mean, it is to me, like there's so many great songs that are out there and so many fun songs, but man, when that hits the airwaves, it's like, it really no matter what kind of day you're having, it's more of an out of body experience at that point. It's just, it's so enjoyable and so much fun. You're doing an air guitar, you're doing air drums, you're drumming on your steering wheel. It's so much fun, but that's where I'm at as far as that's concerned. But again, it's not your favorite song. It's just a great song. Yeah, just a great song. All right, so let's go ahead now. I look forward to your top 5 coming up in the final segment with those songs for sure. But let's get out of the box, Merv. Let's talk about this baseball team of ours. The Phillies had themselves a hell of a week, going 5-1, which is on the heels of going 5-2 the previous week. The Phillies are playing really strong baseball right now. They've won 4 consecutive wins, 4 consecutive series wins. Now they have a chance to break out the brooms tonight on Sunday Night Baseball in a World Series rematch against the Houston Astros. First and foremost, before we dive into the topics at hand, how's your feeling, being down there in Houston? We're going to touch on Nick Castellanos, but I know he said that, they kind of waved the ring with the mascot in front of them on Friday night, and it kind of sparked a little bit more of a fire as if there wasn't any more to begin with that they needed. But big weekend taking the first 2 down there in Houston.
Huge, right? I mean, you headed off on this road trip playing probably your best baseball of the season, but you looked ahead and you thought, okay, defending world champions, Houston, pretty darn good team. And you're going to see a couple of their best pitchers as well on top of it. And then you're headed off to play the Dodgers, who aren't playing at the level that you would expect the Dodgers to play at, right now. But that said, on any given moment, they could turn it on and they're a good team. And you come home and play the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. So this is a pretty tough stretch right here. And you thought, all right, just keep it going because you're playing well. And they've arrived here in Houston. They take the first 2 games in pretty convincing fashion. I mean, obviously, dominating pitching performance by Aaron Nola and then a terrific pitching performance yesterday by Zach Wheeler. The bullpen has just continued to be outstanding. And, it's funny you mentioned Nick Castellanos. I talked to a bunch of the guys before game 1, and I asked them, what's the feeling? Any feelings of revenge? Any feelings of unfinished business? You have a bad taste in your mouth when you come back into this clubhouse kind of thing? And virtually all of them said, nope, 2023, we're looking ahead. That was last year. Different group of guys. we're looking to play this team. It's a tough series early in the season, but that's it. But Nick was different. Nick is the only one that I saw publicly say, oh, yeah, I haven't forgotten what happened back in November of 2022. And, the mascot doing his thing, the knockoff fanatic doing his thing down here in Houston.
Orbit.
Well, I mean, like every time he gets out there, I'm just like, really? Are you going to be funny yet? But anyway, it's he did take the ring and stick it up on the jumbotron, and I guess for Nick, that fired him up, and he's played terrific here in Houston. He's played really well for the last couple of weeks, but he played terrific here in Houston. So it's been fun. Look, Daly Falter deserves a win. He's 0-4, but he has pitched much, much better than that. I'm predicting a Phillies win tonight. I think they win again tonight. I think Bailey pitches well. I think it's another low-scoring game, maybe a 5-2 kind of affair, and the Phillies win.
Let's stick there. I'm kind of going off on what I want to talk about in the run sheet, but the Nick Castellanos Revenge Tour 2023. Finally, the power is starting to come here. 4 home runs over the last week, including Saturday night's bomb off the train tracks in Albert Pujols territory when he hit that one off of Brad Lidge in the playoffs years ago. Robbing Alex Bregman of a home run on Friday night in the first inning. He's batting .324, 17 RBI, 909 OPS, 10 doubles, 10 walks. I mean, he's actually walking this season. This guy right here, I don't know if he still leads the league in outfield assists because he got off onto such a hot start. But this guy is starting to remind us of what we signed before last season, last March, and we all got excited thinking World Series expectations, playoff expectations, ending the decade streak of not making the playoffs. He's finally starting to show that silver slugger side to him and validating the fact of him batting cleanup. I mean, for the first couple of weeks of the season, Murph, all I had to hear about and all I saw on Twitter was, has Topper lost his touch? The lineup is awful. Why is this guy batting here? Why is Christian Pache starting? The Nick Castellanos is batting cleanup. He can't hit a home run. And here we are. Nick Castellanos is going to be the perfect guy when Bryce comes back. And I'm saying Bryce is coming back on Friday night at the bank. But Nick Castellanos is the perfect guy right now to be protecting Bryce Harper when you stick him in that 3-hole.
Yeah, look, me. I try to stay pretty level-headed with just about everything that has to do with the Phillies and baseball. Has Topper lost his touch? Silly question. You don't forget how to manage over the course of the winter. Nick Castellanos was a little bit of an enigma last year because I really thought he was going to figure it out at some point. And I guess very, very late in the season, he started to figure it out a little bit, and he did in
August before he pulled his oblique. Yeah.
And then in the postseason he was okay, better defensively probably than offensively. But that said, I really believed, and I know you heard me say this, and lots of people heard me say this, that the easiest bet coming into this season was that Nick Castellanos was going to have a bounce back year because he's just too good of a player. He's just too good of a hitter over the course of his career to continue doing what we saw last year. And, now we see he's comfortable here in Philadelphia. He loves his teammates. He's really enjoying being part of this organization. And for Nick, that is a big part of how he succeeds. And you can just see it. He's almost a different person. You hear it in his interviews. You see it in the clubhouse. You see it out there on the field. He is feeling good. And because he's feeling good, he's playing good. And it's been awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I like seeing the joy in him this season. You could see it. You could see it on television. Like you said, you could hear it in his interviews. Like when his teammates are interacting with him. What was it when Cody Clemens hit the 2-run shot yesterday? Yep. He was up and he was excited. He's one of the first guys out of the dugout. That's right there. It really is exciting to see. With the success that he's having, and JT's got his batting average up, and man, it's incredible that they scored 6 runs yesterday, and I think they had one hit out of their top 3 hitters. Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott's hitting a little bit of a funk, and Trey Turner's in a little bit of funk right now. Kyle Schwarber, he's
hasn't got
low 200s with low 200s with his batting average. But here we are. Tomorrow is May. And the Phillies are above 500. They're playing great baseball right now. And it starts out, and you alluded to this at the beginning of out of the box here, is the starting pitching. I mean, the way Aaron Nola over the last, his last 2 starts, and the way Zach Wheeler right now, like, man, if he could start missing some more bats, like what's killing his pitch count is they're fouling off so many pitches. Yeah, foul balls is really, that's what's escalating him. And I'm like looking at his pitch count yesterday, and he's at like 60 pitches in the 3rd, 4th inning. And I'm like, I really wanted 7 out of him. That way we really didn't have to touch the bullpen. But what really helped out was adding on those runs later on when we didn't have to use anybody outside of Sir Anthony. But the starting pitching, Matt Strom's been pitching great. He had 11 Ks the other day in one of his last starts. Incredible stuff. What's coming from these starting pitchers. And then you look at the bullpen, Murph, Craig Kimbrell has righted the ship, and Gregory Soto and Sir Anthony Dominguez. He's still allowing base runners, but he's finding his way out. It's only a matter of time. He's hitting that 99 fastball yesterday to strike out the final batter with runners on first and second. But man, they are looking electric right now. The pitching is what's really helped bring down all the negative energy over these last couple of weeks, and it has helped with the offense just scratching out enough to where they're going 10-3 over their last 2 weeks here.
Yeah, and that idea of getting back to 500, it's a mental thing, but it's certainly a good feeling when they got there, and then they've kind of powered through that. Now 2 games over 500, one final game here in April today. 16-3 in the month of April. That's pretty good. If I'm not mistaken, I think the team was 11-11 in April last year. I can't swear to that, but I
believe so. Yeah,
it's stuck in my head. So it just, and then obviously went into a nosedive in May and didn't play well at all. So here they are, a couple games over 500 and in a good spot as we turn the calendar to the month of May.
Real quick, Murph, I want to get some injury reports here from you on a few of the guys. Taijuan Walker left with forearm tightness the other day. It looks like he's going to be making his next start tomorrow. It was more of just a precautionary measure. The Topper said that they weren't doing an MRI on him, so he looks like a full go for Monday night.
Yes, yeah, he's fine. A little concerning when he mentioned it to them, but by the next day, the pain had dissipated. He threw his bullpen. He felt fine. All systems go for Taijuan to make his next start.
Unfortunate incident Friday night with Christian Pache. He was really coming into his own. A lot of people were complaining about how he couldn't hit, and then lo and behold, the guy's batting 360. It's the magic of Kevin Long. He tore his meniscus in his right knee. He's going to be out here for some time. Do we have a timetable? Because I believe I read yesterday on Twitter that it looks like he's going to have surgery in Philadelphia on Monday. But I don't know what the normal timetable is for a surgery on a torn meniscus.
They haven't put a timetable out quite yet. I had my meniscus done, a few years back.
Man, we're really tapping into athletic Murph today.
Yeah, well, or unathletic Murph, however you want to look at it. I toured playing flag football in college. So that said, it's not obviously as invasive as an ACL, in the knee. So I would imagine a 2-month kind of period for Christian Pache. It's just a shame because, to your point, he was really starting to figure some things out. Not only was he hitting for average, but he was getting some big hits in big moments, and that was great to see. He really seemed to be fitting in well in the clubhouse. So it's unfortunate, but Dalton Guthrie is up, and he's a guy that's capable of doing all of those same things, going and getting the baseball in the outfield, hitting for gap power, hitting for average. So hopefully Dalton gets this opportunity now. He didn't get the opportunity coming out of spring despite making the opening day roster. So now he has the opportunity right there in front of him. See what he can do with it.
Yeah, we alluded to earlier that Nick Castellanos almost hit one out of the ballpark if they would have had the roof open. I think he saw dirty windows at Minute Maid Park yesterday. And WeHateDirtyWindows.com is part of Premier Window. Premier Window Cleaning is the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience. They offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check at Premier Window window cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of services, give them a call at 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to their website, wehatedirtywindows.com. That's wehatedirtywindows.com. Coming up in our second segment, we're going to dive into the Bryce Harper situation. Ranger Suarez, how did he make out in his rehab start on Thursday night, and what's the timetable with him? And it's in 2023, it marks the 20th season of Citizens Bank Park, Phillies baseball being there. We're going to take a look back at some of the great moments in Philadelphia Phillies history at the bank right here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We'll be right back after these messages. Clear. We getting any traction on the
Yeah, I got
Nice. If you want to play any of those songs, like coming back from, go for it.
Go for it. Who's pitching today?
Load up. All right, premiere window.
Braves Mets already rained out. Jeez.
Yeah, I had them in on my parlay card today.
Yeah.
I hit on my hockey parlay last night.
There you go.
Yeah. I've had like 2 bets since the Super Bowl. The Alec Boehm hitting a home run on home opener. And I think I had one for the series. Like I had but the Milwaukee Bucks blew that one. So finally hit one.
I couldn't even tell you what's happening in any other sport. No idea.
Hockey playoffs, man. I love it. 2 Game 7s tonight and 1 tomorrow.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, the defending Stanley Cup champion Avalanche are pushed to 7 games by the expansion second-year Kraken. And then the Boston Bruins, who had the most wins and most points in NHL history in the regular season, are being pushed to a Game 7 by the Florida Panthers.
Okay.
And then tomorrow night's Rangers Devils. When all else fails, root for a sinkhole. 40 seconds. He is a Yankees fan, so you got like you're born and raised to hate that song. Star Wars.
All right. Coming back in 10.
10 seconds. Welcome back. Second segment here on this rainy day in the Delaware Valley. But the good thing is your Philadelphia Phillies are playing in Houston, Texas, and there is a retractable roof over that stadium. So we will have Phillies baseball tonight, Sunday night baseball, 7 p.m. Bailey Falter looking for his first W of the season. And if you're going to watch that game, don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season. Try hanging out at Cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jameson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. Check them out. Go in there and have a little bit of fun and spend a little bit of money. All right, guys. So we teased it right at the end of the first segment. It's a huge day tomorrow for the Phillies and Bryce Harper as he meets with a surgeon in Los Angeles as the team goes out to face the Dodgers for 3 in LA. Murph, I'm feeling optimistic that we are going to see him in the starting lineup as the Phillies designated hitter on Friday against the Red Sox. No better time to return than at home. I think it's going to be right after this road trip once he's approved to have to start sliding head first tomorrow by a surgeon. What's the optimism? What's the feel that you're gathering from the guys in the clubhouse, the front office, the coaching staff, Bryce himself? If you've been hanging out with him, I saw that great picture of him the other day with the dog Major, and he was holding the dog, and dude, that was really cool. But what's your feel from being around the team?
Well, I think there is a sense of optimism that he's very close to coming back. There's that part of me that's overly optimistic that I think, well, if Dr. Elatrash tells him on Monday that he's clear and he's ready to go, why wouldn't he be in the lineup on Monday night? Here in LA. I don't know. I'm just saying, probably not. I think your assessment of a Friday night return makes a lot of sense for a couple different reasons. Maybe give him an extra day or two to get a couple more bats before games, take a couple of more slides, just get a little bit more comfortable. But that said, knowing Bryce and the way how competitive he is and how he's just kind of, chomping at the bit to get back in this lineup and help in any way that he can. I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility that we see him in LA. Now, that said, on the flip side, if you want to be overly cautious and maybe not optimistic, there is a possibility that Dr. Elatrash says, not yet, you're not ready. That is possible for sure. And if that were to happen, obviously we're all going to be a little bit disappointed, and hopefully it would only be a 2-week or maybe a 3-week delay in that regard. But he is so far ahead of schedule that I think you have to hold out the possibility that the doctors say, let's pump the brakes just a little bit. And see. But, when you watch him out on the field before the games, whether he's taking infield, whether he's sliding feet first, whether he's taking BP, certainly looks like he's ready to go. He obviously can't really throw yet, although he's done some throwing. He can do just about everything else, and he does look like he's ready to go in that regard. So I don't know. It is. You're right. Going to be a big day tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I've got my fingers crossed that we see him much sooner than later in this lineup.
Any worry from you that you feel like he's forcing this a little bit too much, too fast, that he might be trying to come back a little too soon here? Or do you feel like from seeing him, like you said, I mean, you're down in the field, you're seeing these live BPs that he's having against, the Ranger Suarez and AAA pitchers, and, bringing guys up that can throw 97, 98, that can hit both sides of the plate. From what you see, do you feel that he's ready to go once he gets the green light from his surgeon?
Yeah, I mean, look, from my untrained eye, honestly, because I rely on guys, baseball guys, to make those kinds of decisions and those kinds of observations. And I've talked to a ton of people about it, and most people think he's pretty close for sure. That said, look, is Bryce pushing the envelope? Of course he is. That's Bryce Harper. I think Bryce is smart enough to know that he has to at least listen to his body. And if his body was groaning back at him, then he would probably back off a little bit. So I got to believe that he feels pretty good. That said, this decision's not being made by Bryce alone. There is a team of people that will be involved in this decision. He's much too important to this organization to rush him back. So that's not going to happen. He will not be on the field until the people who have vast knowledge of this injury and how it heals and Bryce's body and the wear and tear that it's going to take to play the rest of the season, until all of them feel like he's ready to go, he won't be on the field. That could be as early as this week, but it might not be as well.
I can't wait for Bedlam at the Bank to return. It's going to be insane for sure, especially with that kind of crowd with the Red Sox going to be down there this weekend. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a packed house pretty much all season long because the Phillies are defending National League champions, but so much so this weekend. Red Sox fans, Red Sox Nation, they like to travel. It's going to be a hot ticket this weekend for sure. All right, so Murph, we also alluded to Ranger Suarez. Ranger made a rehab start on a Thursday night. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that went and what are the next steps? And I'm assuming we're looking at Rangers' return to the rotation sometime over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks is still the projected return for Ranger Suarez. By all accounts, it went very well in his first rehab start. He pitched 2 innings. I don't have the pitch total in front of me, but it was like 25, 27 pitches, something like that. Didn't allow a run. I think he allowed a hit, walked 1, struck out a couple. So, it was more importantly, the next day he felt really good. So I would imagine, I think that was on Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometime, I guess maybe Tuesday, he's scheduled to pitch in the Lehigh Valley. That is his next scheduled start as a rehab start. And they'll probably try to get him to 35, 40 pitches, maybe even push him a little bit more. Bottom line is they'd like for him to get up to about 75, 80 pitches down there in the rehab starts before he comes back to Philadelphia. They want him to be completely stretched out. So if you kind of just project the math on that, he's probably got 3 more rehab starts to go, which is 15 days. And, that's 17 days when you stop to think about it. So, he's still about 2.5, 3 weeks away. But when he comes back, this team gets better. I mean, Matt Strom's been terrific in the rotation, but they've made it pretty clear he will be the one sliding back into the bullpen because they think he can just be an absolute weapon down there. And if he pitches anything like he's done in the rotation, he will be a weapon. He's stretched out, so we know he can go 3 innings, maybe even 4 in a situation that calls for it. But he also can just dominate in 1 inning, which we've seen as well. So he is going to slide back there and assume the role that they expected him to assume when they signed him. And it just makes this team better, and that's what's all about, getting healthy, extending the lineup by putting Bryce back in there, extending the rotation by putting Ranger back in there, and extending the bullpen by putting Strom back there. It just makes the team better, and that's what you're striving for.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And, to have both of them back, like you said, it just makes the team that much better, that much stronger, and, continue to strive, trying to catch up to the Braves here in the National League East, and it's proven to be tough. The Marlins are playing good baseball right now, and the Mets are still around. They're about to get Justin Verlander back. I think Scherzer was supposed to return yesterday from his suspension. So he'll be coming back too. It's going to be an interesting battle this season. I think we both alluded to, earlier on in the season, the Marlins aren't they're not going to be a pushover this year. They signed some veterans that are going to help them out on both sides and pitching and hitting. And Luis Arraez, man, that guy can hit. Yeah, he can. Definitely causes nightmares. But you know what, Murph, I wanted to talk about it because 2023 is the 20th season at Citizens Bank Park for Phillies baseball, and it's pretty crazy to think about. It's aged like a fine wine. It's still as beautiful today as it was when it opened up back in 2004 against the Reds. And I'll tell you what, there's been so many great memories, exciting times at the ballpark. I've been privileged to be there for so many of them. But I wanted to start with you, Murph. I want you to just kind of reflect back, talk about some of your memories at the ballpark, some of the fun times. Doesn't have to be the greatest games or the greatest players doing the greatest things, but things that you harken back to that make you remember the last 20 years of Phillies baseball at Citizens Bank Park and how great it's been.
Yeah, I've probably seen I haven't done the math, but I've probably seen over 2,400 games. Half that. I guess 1,200 games at Citizens Bank Park over the years. For the last 12 years, I've seen just about every single one at home. And before that, as a fan and covering the team for NBC and various stations, obviously at the ballpark an awful lot as well. So many great memories. And I love your description about it aging like a fine wine, because it is so hard to believe that it's entering its 20th season of baseball because it is beautiful. It looks terrific. Even the parts the fans don't get to see, the bowels of the ballpark. I mean, I'm telling you, it is just in absolutely excellent shape. To me, the part where the bowl where the fans are and the views, they just seem to get better and better every year. And obviously some improvements with the scoreboard and, the turf continues to get upgraded. And there are so many things that make that such a terrific ballpark. I think it's easily a top 10 ballpark in all of Major League Baseball. I would argue it's a top 6 or 7 at the least, and you can make an argument it's the top 5 for sure. So we're spoiled in that regard in Philadelphia. I have so many great memories. I couldn't even begin. I mean, I guess personally, I was at the CC Sabathia game as a fan with at that point, so that was what, 08?
I was 08. Yep, I was at that game too.
Yeah, so Matthew would have been 7 years old. And so he's my middle son, and he was with me, and we were up in the stands, and he's high-fiving everybody, and he's chanting CC. I didn't know what was going on, but that memory is such a special memory for me that it's hard to trump that one. I wish I had one each with my other 2 kids, but it is what it is. He was at that age where he could come in 08, whereas my youngest son was too little at the time. So we share that memory. It's terrific, and then so many work-related memories with great people, great games, fun interviews, funny moments that happen, whether it be on the broadcast or not. So I always joke that we're so spoiled to have our office at the ballpark. I sit there in the radio booth and I look out. It's literally the best seat in the house, and I think to myself, it's not a corner office, but hey, it's pretty damn good. We'll make this work. This is okay. And it's just, we're spoiled rotten, and I pinch myself all the time. I try never to take it for granted because we're so lucky. And that ballpark has brought a lot of special memories to a lot of people over the last 2 decades, and I think it'll continue for the foreseeable future. So
I agree with you. I look back, obviously the Phillies winning the World Series there, Brad Lidge and Carlos Ruiz with the hug at the mound and, being tackled by Ryan Howard. And, you alluded to Shane Victorino with the grand slam. And that night, like we got to hang out with the Flyers, Hartnell and Richards and Carter, all at God, what was it called at the time? The bar that was, McFadden's right there on the corner. And we used to go there all the time after the games. And, Jimmy Rollins with the walk-off off of Broxton, Jim Thomey's 400th home run, the bat spike by Rhys Hoskins, Bedlam at the bank with Bryce Harper. It's just so many incredibly amazing. Roy Halladay with his postseason no-hitter against the Reds, the retirement nights for Rollins and Howard and Rollins, Howard and Utley, crying at the ballpark watching their highlight reels and them going up to the podium and speaking about what we meant to them as players, what we meant to them as a team. As fans, there's nothing we love more than, I don't want to say they were pandering to us, but we love having that satisfaction that we were the ones that took them in their tough times, and we raised them up to that level to bring about. And I know we talked after last postseason, and I was privileged to be there every postseason series. I've missed in my lifetime. I was born in '86. I've missed one playoff series in my lifetime. My dad brought me to '93 NLCS, but he didn't take me to the '93 World Series against the Blue Jays. And obviously, I was in St. Louis last year with my wife when we clinched to move on to the division series. I've never missed a postseason series for the Phillies, and last postseason trumped anything in those 5-year run as far as like loud and epic, craziness. What we did last year to raise that team's level to Game 6 of the World Series when they only won 87 games and they crept in with the third wild card spot. What an incredible time to be alive, like these last 20 years, to be in the golden era of Phillies baseball. And now hopefully we're starting another one, with these next 5-6 years with these players and this core to make another run and another World Series title, especially with my kids being around the age that you were just saying. Jacob just turned 7 years old. I think if the Phillies make it back to the playoffs this year, this is the time. This is the year. I was 7 when I went to my first playoff game in 1993. I would love to have that memory with my oldest son because I think he's ready for it. And it's been an incredible last 20 years, and I'm looking forward to the next 20, the next 40. But Citizen Bank Park is a real gem in the city of Philadelphia and in Major League Baseball, and we are privileged and lucky to have it as our own.
Agreed. Yep.
But you know what else is really cool is when we got to do the remote show last year from the Ludlam Bar and Grill, the Ludlam Hotel in Sea Isle City. I think we're going to do another one this season. We're already in the talks with them. They are extremely happy and satisfied with Green Legion Radio, and Bud Light Baseball Brunch. And we would love nothing more than to have another show down there so I can drink some more of their La Costa lemonade. Oh man, delicious. You guys are missing out. Get down there. Remember, we are 1 month away from Memorial Day weekend, which means the shore is going to be popping and you don't want to be anywhere else but the Ludlam Bar and Grill at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Yes, it's the old La Costa. Make sure you guys check them out at ludlamhotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829 for all your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions. The Ludlam Hotel, Ludlam Bar and Grill, your new oasis in Sea Isle City. Coming up in our final segment, we've got a lot to tackle. Your favorite song, which one are we going to pick, and who's going to win the tickets? We have our 3 picks each for today's action on the Major League Baseball card. We have Can You Believe It? And we're going to look at the week ahead for our Fightin' Phils right here, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. We'll be right back after this. How long was this break? Cool. Got plenty of time.
All right.
You got your list for me?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Oh, wow. Oh, God. There's always some good ones on here. We need another Sean Brace Top Dog Law. Sounds like he ate Taco Bell. Dude, is that pen holder a roll of toilet paper?
Yeah.
Jansen on Thursday night.
Yeah. I think there's some brown spots on the toilet paper.
Oh, man. That show was fun. Oh, man.
Jansen yesterday was like, the last 2 segments was just you guys laughing. Whatever.
That's damn good radio right there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Bob.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
So I went 1 and 2 again. I stink at gambling, which is why I don't gamble. I'm
Did you see the week I had last week?
All right.
Ooh.
That's pretty impressive. You're good at gambling, which is why you do gamble.
I'm okay at it. If I was better, I'd be doing it more.
Yeah, well, you seem to win more than you lose.
No. Here's the thing, Murph. People that gamble only talk about gambling when they win.
No, you're not like that, though. You've told me about your losses, too. I feel like you win more than you lose. You don't think that's an accurate statement?
Oh, I have a great system during football season.
Classic gambling.
No, I'm dead serious, man. I killed it last football season, like all the
Pro
way
or
through.
college or both?
No, just pro.
See, and I
Just
don't bet pro. I only if I'm going to, and I stopped betting last year, but I used to bet college football, and I did decently in college football. My problem is I don't have the patience for it, so I just jump in, and in 3 minutes I make 5 picks, and I jump out, and then I go 2 and 3 or 3 and 2, and
15
it's
seconds.
like, and that's kind of how I do
Yeah,
the picks here too. Like
my frustration is I don't know how people gamble $10 to win like 20. Like, what do you get out of that?
Yeah, I hear you.
We're coming. Slash is pandering to the sack master in our last segment here. Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. All right, guys, this segment is brought to you by our friends at E&J Mobile Cigar Lounge. They can be found on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at EJ Mobile Cigar Lounge or their website, ejmobilecigarlounge.com. They will come to you for any occasion and event. They are a premier luxury mobile cigar and hookah lounge in the Philadelphia area. You can call or text 215-806-3999 and ask for EJ. All right, so we went ahead and we had Born to Run, which was my favorite song, great song, pick me up song. You can't go wrong with it at all. Yeah. So Murph, how about we do this? Before I name these for our contestants, why don't you give me the rest of your top 5 and let's see if anybody has any of your remaining 5.
Yeah, I'd be surprised
if Vienna with Billy Joel was one of them.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if anyone had my specific song. Certainly, I think we'll have crossover on the artists. But so I also am a Bruce Springsteen fan. Probably not a rabid fan, but I've seen him in concert a couple of times, and I do like a lot of his music. But again, I'm trying to go off the board a little bit. I mean, Born to Run. Tremendous song. Yeah, it's impossible to argue with that. But I don't know if you know this song by Bruce, but I like songs that kind of get me ready for the summer. As the summer's coming, you start to warm weather come. So there's a song that he wrote called "Girls in Their Summer Clothes." I don't know if you've ever heard that song. It's a tremendous song. I'm also a lyrics guy. I love the words of songs. So that's a big part of what was my enjoyment. So "Girls in Their Summer Clothes" by Bruce Springsteen.
See, my dad loves Jungle Land. That is his Bruce song. Yeah, that's his that is his Bruce song.
I mean, again, you can't. There are so many great ones. It's hard. So, okay, a little bit more. I say a little more contemporary, but I guess it's really not. From my college days, "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses. You talk about a song that if you're driving, you know what? You better pull over because if not, you're gonna get a speeding ticket because your foot just starts to go down. And you're just like, it's a blast. I love that song. The beginning of it.
So you're a huge Craig Kimbrell guy then.
Well, I love the fact that he comes into that. I do. It's very cool. But I've always loved that song. I've always loved the guitar to begin it. So it's a great song. I wouldn't even call myself a huge Guns N' Roses fan, but they have a couple of great songs, and I'll put that one on the list.
Okay.
I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett guy. Same reason. Getting ready for the summer. I've seen Jimmy
You're
Buffett.
You're a parrot head.
Yeah, I'm a parrot head. 40 times I've probably seen him over the course of my lifetime. And again, so many songs that I like, but I'll throw just the most general and common one out there because it's a great song. Every time it comes on, it makes me feel good. Is Margaritaville. It's his biggest hit, and it's the one that kind of set him in motion. But it's a great song. I can name 25 other Buffett songs that I love, but I'll put Margaritaville on the list. And then finally, a couple of years ago, Scott Fransky turned me on to an artist named Jason Isbell. It's kind of like a Americana. Not so much country, but more folky Americana kind of. And I love his songwriting. I love his music. And he has a song called "Songs She Sings in the Shower." And it is, if you listen to the lyrics, I'm
noticing a trend here.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge lyrics guy. I'm an English major. I write all the time. I love to write. So that's a big part of it for me. So "Songs She Sings in the Shower" by Jason Isbell on my list. There you go.
All right. None of those songs are on this list.
I
So
didn't think
let's
so.
go ahead. Let's pick a winner here, okay? So we have Desperado by the Eagles.
Oh, great song.
Yesterday by the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Superstition, Stevie Wonder. Three Little Birds by Bob Marley. Philadelphia Freedom, Elton John.
Good one.
Thong Song, Cisco. American Pie, and Creep by Radiohead.
Oh, love that song. Love that song. Good one. All right, you want me to go real quick? For me,
Yeah, I want you to pick.
Yeah, it's one of the first three. Can you give me the first three again?
Okay, Desperado.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Stairway to Heaven.
Got my first kiss to Stairway to Heaven ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, November 1989. So I remember.
Did
that
it lead to heaven, or did it lead to hell?
No, not directly. But I do remember that. I think I'm going to go out of all those really great ones. I'm going to go with Desperado. There's another one that just tears you apart when you hear it. So I like more nostalgic and slower music personally. So I'm going to go Desperado. I'm sure that's not where you're at.
It's hard for me to choose between Yesterday and Stairway to Heaven. I'm kind of like, I'm not as much of like an Eagles guy as so many people are, but I'm going to go with Yesterday by the Beatles, which means Slash, you got to choose between Desperado and Yesterday. And Michael Todd with Desperado and the Eagles has won the tickets. We'll try and reach out. Hopefully they'll reach out to me and I'll get them the tickets. We've had a few weeks before that game anyway. So, all right. Congratulations, Michael Todd. And now let's try and win some people some money here. Murph, not so much trying to win people money. Murph's more trying to lose people money. So Murph went 1-2 with 1 point again last week, which puts him for the season at 2-4 with 2 points. I, on the other hand, if you bet with me last week, you won yourself some money because I had to make a fourth pick because the Detroit Tiger rain out from a couple weeks ago. So 4-0 with 5 points. That puts me at 4-2 on the season with 5 points through 2 weeks of our competition. It's a long season, Murph. I know you always say you kind of figure out what you are by the end of the season on the back of your baseball card. But I handed you your ass last year in these picks, and I'm looking to do it again this season. So why don't you give me your first pick for today?
All right. For the record, I did win season 1, but yeah,
you did. This is the grudge match right here.
Yeah. So, I'm folks should probably go right against whatever I pick, and they'll probably do very well this year. But all right, here I go. I got the I can't even read my writing at this point.
I don't think is a baseball team.
Tampa Bay as my favorite over the White Sox. Did you see Luis Garcia Jr. run to first base last night? Did you happen to catch that?
That was Luis Robert.
Luis Roberts. I'm sorry, Luis Roberts.
Yeah. Pathetic. They are. Oh my God, they're terrible right now. And they were throwing a no hitter through 6, and then they gave up 10 runs in the 7th.
Yeah, I gotta believe that that is going to kind of weigh on them a little bit today. I'm sure there's some very bad feeling inside that clubhouse with that kind of effort. So I'm going with Tampa, who's one of the best teams in baseball right now. Minus 205 over the White Sox is my favorite.
Okay, my favorite today is going to be the Cubs at minus 170 at Miami against the Marlins to avoid the sweep. The Marlins have won 3 in a row. They won the last one against the Braves, and they've won the first 2 in the series. I don't think the Marlins are that much better than the Cubs. The Cubs are a good baseball team. I think they stay away from the sweep today. So I got the Cubs minus 170. What's your next pick?
All right, my underdog, I've got the Angels stepping up and beating the Brewers today. Angels are just plus 110. Not much of a pitching matchup in this one, so I really feel like it could go either way. So I'm going to give the Angels offense a tip of the cap today. I'm going to hope they score some runs and they can beat the Brewers this afternoon. So I'll take them as my underdog.
Okay, I'm going to give my under right now. I'm going to go under 9.5 because I have the under 9.5 in that game. Angels Brewers. Okay. They were under on Friday night. They went over last night. Give me another under today in that game, and give me your over-under for today.
All right, over-under today, it's a high number, 10 for the Dodgers and the Cardinals. I originally was going to take the over, but that, everything in my fibers telling me to take the over. So I'm going to take my own advice and go against what I think, and I'm going to take the under. Under 10, Dodgers, Cardinals, hoping it's a 5-4 kind of game.
Did you see the over-under today for the Mexico City game?
I did not.
20.5.
What?
Yes, it was 15.5 yesterday, 20.5 today after they put up 27 runs combined yesterday with 11 home runs. They were threatening the major league record for home runs in a game combined between two teams.
I guess that's hitting season down there, huh?
Yeah. It's making Coors Field look like the Polo Grounds.
Yeah, right.
I have my underdog today is a little bit of a surprise. The Nationals at plus 120 at home versus the Pirates. So the Pirates have the best record in the National League. They're 20-8. They destroyed the Nationals yesterday in the doubleheader.
Yep.
Why are the Pirates only minus 140 today for favorites? It doesn't add
Because
up.
of the Pirates.
I get it, but I can't compute it. So I'm just going to take the Nationals at plus 120. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? It's a lot better on your eardrums this week than it was last week when we destroyed everyone's hearing at Xfinity Live. Two things that we found interesting from this past week in Major League Baseball. Murph, give me your first one.
All right. Well, talking about the game that you were just talking about, the Padres and Giants game yesterday, all those home runs. Each team went back-to-back in that game twice. And that's the first time in Major League Baseball history that both teams had multiple distinct home run streaks in a game, meaning 2 or 3 in a row kind of thing. So both teams back-to-back twice, first time in Major League Baseball history.
All right. You went with something that, exemplifies, success. I'm going to exemplify the opposite direction, which is ineptitude, which is the story of the 2023 Oakland Athletics.
Okay.
They are the first team in Major League Baseball history with 23 or more losses before May 1st. And guess what? They play again today, and it might be 24.
Yes, it might be. Yeah, that's a bad situation out there in the Great Northwest for sure. All right. How about we were just talking about the Pirates off to their best 26-game start since 1992. If I'm not mistaken, 92. That was the Bonds and Bonilla era in Pittsburgh.
That was Sid Bream.
Sid Bream.
Sid Bream.
It's been a while since
you could have thrown out Sid Bream at the plate.
Yeah, I probably could have at that point. So they're off to their best start, trying to be right now they're the best team in the National League, or at least playing the best of the National League. So pretty impressive for the Pirates. I hope they keep it up.
Pretty cool story there too with Drew Maggi. Probably his last appearance last night. He gets a single with an RBI and then he hits a double off of a position player. Pretty cool story for him after 13 years in the minor leagues for him to get that moment. Well deserved. My last, can you believe it, for this week is courtesy of Jason Stark. The Phillies and Mariners just played a 9-inning game in 2 hours and 4 minutes. I know you love that one. Fastest 9-inning game at Citizens Bank Park since a Padres Phillies game on June 5th, 2010. That one was 2 hours and 2 minutes. Jamie Moyer versus John Garland.
Wow.
The only other game faster than this one was on August 16th, 2006, which was also 2 hours and 2 minutes. Pretty cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. And it was on the anniversary of Kevin Millwood's no-hitter, which was a 1-0 final back 20 years ago at the last year at the Vet, and 1-0 in that game as well. Pretty cool. Yeah,
I heard your interview with him the other day. That was some good stuff.
Yeah, he's
good stuff for sure. So taking a look at the week ahead, just to get your assessment here, Murph, we're attempting to break out the brooms tonight versus the Astros. We have a 3-game set in LA against the Dodgers, and hopefully Bryce Harper gets approved tomorrow for head first sliding, and we'll see him back in the lineup this week. So 3-game series there in LA, and then we come back to the bank against the Red Sox. Got to keep this momentum going, right? We want another great week coming in. Keep on winning these series.
Yeah, they just got to keep the pitching going. If they continue to get good pitching like they've gotten, if the bullpen continues to do what they've done and shorten games, they're going to win a lot more than they lose. That's what they've been doing of late, and hopefully they can keep it up. I'm predicting a Phillies win today, and it's hard to sweep a team in Major League Baseball. It's especially hard to sweep a really good team and at their own place. But the Phillies have that opportunity against Houston today. I feel like the Phillies are just clicking right now, and I firmly believe Bailey Falter is going to come out and pitch well today. I hope I'm not wrong about that because he deserves a win. He deserves a little positive energy coming his way, the way he's played so far this season. So I'm predicting a Phil's win over the Houston Astros. They sweep them, and then maybe you take 2 out of 3 in LA, come home on a 5-1 road trip. I'll sign up for that.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, you said that you were on no-hitter alert for Aaron Nola, and last week you said that you would be surprised if Zach Wheeler gave up more than 2 hits. You don't have any vibes going today? How many hits Bailey Falter might give up?
Well, for Bailey, I think it's almost more important about the walks, and he's been really good with that. He just can't walk guys because he's going to give up a couple hits. That's Bailey. I mean, Bailey doesn't have overpowering stuff, so he's going to give up a couple hits. If he gives up 5 hits and 2 or 3 runs, I think the Phils win this game.
Sounds great. All right. For Kyle / the Gobbler Nunamaker here on the board, Greg Murphy over there in Houston. Appreciate you, partner, for joining us as always. I'm Chris Sack of Green Legion Radio, and like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard, we are out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Let's go Phillies, break out the brooms and get some revenge on those Astros.
Awesome.
Good stuff, brother.
All right. Thank you, fellas. Got to get back to doing some real estate and then get back to doing some baseball.
Have some fun. I'm going to go home and have some lunch.
There you go. I might order some lunch right now, as a matter of fact.
Room service.
Yeah, I don't have time to go down, so I've been very good on this trip. I haven't ordered room service yet, so I might treat myself.
Do it now.
All right, guys. All right. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you
next week. See you, Murph.